Welcome back to the dynamic Nutrimedical Report, where the host with the most, Michelle, is going to ask your questions that you've called in or emailed to Nutrimedical on wellness or other issues, especially spiritual issues. But we're going to give you pathways to wellness. And here's Michelle for the firing line.
See, I can't do that. I'm supposed to be doing the intro now, but I can't do that.
You can do the intro for all the segments.
Good. Gosh.
Just a little practice, that's all.
Yeah. So welcome to the firing line, the Nutrimedical Report. And I just have to be myself. I don't think I could fake it and go, welcome to the It sounds so... it's canned, but it's good, Bill.
Yep, there you go.
Hello, everyone. I guess you noticed it is June the 13th, which is Friday the 13th, which Bill always makes a comment about and says it's what? What is it?
Triskaidekaphobia.
Yeah.
Which is fear of Friday the 13th. Actually, Friday the 13th is one of my days where I'm usually lucky on Friday the 13th, and today is a lucky day for everybody listening.
Why?
It's a lucky day because it's the best day of the rest of the year, and everything's onward and upward. You're going to listen to the program, get the best nutraceuticals, improve your health, and you're going to be fantastic.
Well, you see how happy Bill is because he got a whole bunch of tests done this week, like his colonoscopy and EKG and everything, and he's all healthy, and he's all like, hey, see, look at me. See how healthy I am, how good.
Well, the nutraceuticals make a big difference, awesome difference.
Yeah, you got it, but you have to do some more exercise, more sleep.
Oh, I'm getting that. I'm actually able to get things are improving in every realm, and I got to say, the combination of NutriMeds and a lot of good prayer, got a good exercise and so on to start to work.
Yeah, and people were worried about you, wondering why did you miss a few hours of your show.
I just had too many tests to do. That's all.
And guess what? I decided I'd do some tests. If you're doing tests, I'm going to do tests. Because we have this health insurance, we never use it. So I've got myself a mammogram, and I got myself a pap smear, and we're good to go.
Absolutely.
So isn't that great? So
it is.
I feel good about that.
And again, remember, Nutrimedical is bringing the best of nutrition and medicine.
Yes.
There are certain drugs that are safe. Mm-hmm. Certain drugs that are dangerous as heck, and you shouldn't use them ever. Mm-hmm. Certain surgical procedures never should be used. Other ones are safe if used in the right way. Mm-hmm. And we talk about that. We talk about gene therapy, for example. We talked about yesterday that there's a gene therapy that's been researched in mice. One shot, and they don't want them to call it a vaccine, changes your liver, turns off the actual genes that create the VLDL cholesterol, and forever cuts your risk of heart attack by 75 to 90%.
Great.
And that's going to be available soon. I mean, and so I believe in these kind of advanced therapies, measuring organic acids to look for metabolic problems and fixing it nutritionally, and things like CoQ10 for heart, for blood pressure, detoxing heavy metals, combining with the best of medicine is really good. And as I say, for example, even with cancer therapy, we believe in the Brzezinski Clinic. They do gene-based therapy. And we recommend, for example, they use our nutraceuticals, malignant block, malignant arrest, ellagic acid, all of our nutraceuticals for all cancers. And, for example, for breast cancers, the best screening is digital thermography. Better than a mammography. Years before a mammogram changes, you'll have a thermographic change in the breast tissue. So I tell people, women, yearly do not a mammogram, but a digital thermogram, and then only maybe every 5 years if your thermogram is changing.
I couldn't get the digital. They only had the mammogram.
I found out that they had digital thermography down at the Sierra Wellness every month. I just found it out today.
Well, I just took what I can get. My insurance, is that covered?
Well, you do one now.
It's not covered. I'm not going to pay for it. I'll go to the regular one and suffer.
Yeah, well, you do one now, and then if your test is normal, I'd recommend doing a thermogram for 5 years, and don't do a mammogram, because remember, you're exposed to x-rays. Do a mammogram only if the thermogram is abnormal.
Okay, Bill, can we get into the questions?
Sure.
First of all, we have, of course, our praise reports. And, Bill, we'll start off with Marlene from the L.A. area. I guess she really talked to you, but I thought that was quite exciting about her eye.
Yes, she had a central retinal vein obstruction. And we put her on a protocol that decreased her blood viscosity, reversed the inflammatory changes in the vein, and opened up her vision, and she actually had her vision return.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, it's amazing.
I thought I'd ask Bill that because I'd never get that straight.
Yeah,
so
and again, there are no conventional treatments by the doctors to treat that. Mm-hmm. So this is totally enzymatic and nutraceutical treatment that made it get better.
And they live just north of us up in L.A.
Yeah, and we have these kind of stories all the time. People with hepatitis, we drop their viral load to 0, enzymes. People with inflammatory changes like scleroderma, lupus, turning them off with nutraceutical approaches.
And for any of our new listeners, Bill, what is our website?
Website is Nutri, N-U-T-R-I, Medical, M-E-D-I-C-A-L, Nutri, N-U-T-R-I, medical.com.
And our phone number?
888-888-212-8871. 888-212-8871.
I didn't say repeat it. I just said once.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just being better than ever.
Bill, I have also... Charlotte. Hey, Charlotte from Alabama. God, I love talking to her. She's retired school teacher. Remember her?
Yeah.
How smart she is and everything. She had a really good question. I think I was supposed to do this last week. But anyways, it was on those turtle duff, whatever you call them, shelters.
Turtle duff shelters, yeah.
She was wondering, if you use it camping, right? You use it for going camping. And she wondered, would it keep out a grizzly bear?
Well, the aluminum is aircraft aluminum, which is 3 to 6 times stronger than steel. And no, it won't keep out a grizzly bear because it's got a heavy tarp kind of material over it, but it's so resilient. It's like 10 times stronger than the regular canvas, and it's way lighter.
Well, now it's got 2 things wrong with it. It won't keep out a grizzly bear, so I'll never get one. And the other reason is it's claustrophobic. Hello, I'm never getting in one of those.
No, not claustrophobic. Because,
yes, they are.
No, I'll tell you how high they are.
I saw them on the website.
Do you know how high they are? Let me explain. Their height is 9 feet to 10 feet high, so you get like a higher ceiling than most homes. And the bigger one is 25 feet across diameter, and the other one is 60. So, and they can be set up. They're so strong they can have hammocks. So, they're in terms of my study over the last number of years for a mobile shelter for someone, better than a cabin, better than an RV. Like if you want to be real fancy and have a lot of money, you get one of these Range Rover things that can go anywhere. But guess what? When there's no gasoline,
you're going nowhere. Do you know where I'm going to go? Nowhere. I'm going to stay right here in my beautiful home,
but I'm just telling you,
overlooking the beautiful valley there and the ocean.
If a lot of people arrived that you were friends and you had a place to put them, you'd put this out on your yard, which we have, and you'd have room for 25 to 30 people with a larger shelter. And to keep them out of the heat, the elements, the sunlight, etc. And it is snow resistant. It'll take thousands of pounds of snow, so it'll slide right off. They're rated stronger than any other shelter there. They'll take 150 mile an hour winds, would rip the roof off almost any home, and because of its geodesic shape. So that's why I say the Turtle Tough shelters are my selection for food, water, shelter. Turtle Tough are the best price, the most resilient, and the easiest to move even with a deer carrier.
You know what I like? My bedroom down at the end of the house.
Everybody likes their bedroom.
I wouldn't go in something like that, but that's okay. That's
when we
cool.
had the fires,
there's options there for whoever likes it.
When we had the fires, for example, this summer, and the sheriff comes by, if they tell you to move, they raise their gun up and say, you are moving. Yeah,
and I'm going to a Hotel Del Coronado over in San Diego. I'm not going to any turtle dove shelter.
No, I'm not.
You go in the shelter, I'll go to the hotel.
I'm just telling you, if there was a disaster of the proportions.
And hey, let's mention again, we've got that fire gel, and you're supposed to get him on the air.
He will be. Yeah, we'll have
and
John Bart.
That's important. To save your home with the fire gel, that's important to me.
Okay, well, we'll pick that up in other segments dealing with shelter at another time.
On another subject.
So we know you like your home.
Sure.
That has been now verbally established.
And if I have to go, I'm going to a hotel. Hello.
This is part of the comedy routine, right?
Bill, listen to this. I have to get this in today. Lots of people ask me about our drinks. What if you had to have one drink? Is very complete. I already know the answer. It's the Life Support. The Life Support chocolate or Life Support vanilla. So a lot of people like to get a lot of their supplements in a drink. And there's nothing better than the Life Support. And I guess you might have a word
the other
to
one
say
is
about that?
Yeah, the Life Support is fantastic. It has all the vitamins, Vitamin Max Minerals Plus, all the Phase 2 detox factors, the Vega Pro protein, digestive enzymes, probiotics, everything.
Go to Nutrimedical.com and click on the product sheet. You'll be amazed at how many of our products are in that Life Support.
Yeah.
You may have heard about taking silver supplements for better health, but not all silver supplements are alike. Silver 100 with OptiSilver from Nutrimedical.com is an ionic silver citrate complex and is unparalleled as the most powerful
independent talk radio network, the Genesis Communications Network, GCN. TCN.
I remember when I lost my mind.
Oh, do you want me to do it?
There was something so pleasant about that place.
Welcome back, and Michelle, your word is?
You're an automatic. You can do it anyways. Welcome back, everybody.
Okay, you got some more questions and a little humor. Of course, we had lots of fun with the turtle tough shelters. We now know that...
I know, Bill says, what are you doing on the
I think what happens
are you doing
is...
talking about
firstly, if it's a fire...
say what I think.
If it's a fire, you're going to Hotel Coronado. If it's Armageddon, you're going to the Hotel Armageddon.
Okay, Bill.
There you go.
Leave me alone.
I'm having fun with you.
Hey, I forgot Ken, our dear friend Ken. What's a show without a question from Ken from Georgia? Like, a show doesn't go by. That guy's got more questions than, what is it?
Dot has little liver pills.
I thought it was kidney pills.
Little liver pills, they call it. Liver pills.
He has a friend, I guess he's a Seventh-day Adventist. He owns a health food store. And he was, remember you asked a question about mosquitoes last week, and he was telling us about the Avon product?
We just
Skin so soft and all that stuff.
By the way, our Alimax will do the same thing.
Is good.
Just take them orally.
That's because
or
of the smell of it. I'm going to tell you, the Alimax cream, if you put the cream, Alimax cream on, nothing will go near you, not even people.
Well,
because the smell of garlic.
It repels alligators, including insects, biting insects.
Okay.
Velociraptors.
Really. The question was and is, this person that owns a health food store told Ken that the reason people get bitten by mosquitoes is because they have a low B complex. What do you think of that? Ken wants to know what you think of that.
No, they simply they pick up the thermal image of the person, and they can smell the pheromones that they know is human. Mm-hmm. And when they see the hot spots, they know there's blood vessels under the skin, so they take and then they look for the hot spot because they have a little thermal sensor, and they just stick their little sticker in the hot spot.
That's kind of got nothing to do with vitamin B. I wonder where that came from.
They don't have a little micro-testing lab.
Let me see.
No. You're low B.
You're low in vitamin B.
No.
I'm not going near you.
Yeah.
Oh no, they go near you. He's trying to say if you're low in vitamin B that they do bite you.
No, that's not true.
Okie dokie. So much.
In fact, if anything, you'd expect the mosquitoes to be distinguished and wanted to get... So if you're well-nourished, they'll probably get more, but to be honest with you, they don't. They're just real simple. They look for hot spots, and they find the hot spot. And
right.
They smell humans, they know it's humans.
They smell that Alimax cream, they're going to move on.
Yeah, if they smell what's called thiols in the Alimax, either orally you take it or topically, they're going to go, ooh, they're going to start retching, and they're not going to go near you because they think it'll kill them. And to be honest with you, it'll kill some of the bugs in their mouth parts and in their bodies because they always carry pathogens.
Yes.
Of some kind.
Let's start with the questions, the emails.
Right.
Here we go. Let's start out with our dear, handsome, I know he's handsome because remember he sent the picture, Charles from Australia.
Oh, yes.
Yes, from New South Wales, Australia. He says, this is a question for the Friday show. Can Dr. Deagle say something about oxytocin?
Oxytocin is what's called a binding hormone. It's released in the mother when she's breastfeeding her baby. It's released in special forces when they bind a team together to do special ops.
How?
And the blood levels are the same.
How?
Because they get so close and bound together by blood brotherhood and protecting each other, and you know that the one guy's got to protect the other guy life and death.
Yeah.
They actually have the same levels as a mother and baby in special forces. Isn't that interesting?
Is there anything else? What is it? What is oxytocin?
It's a hormone that regulates the parts of the brain that cause you to be compassionate to another person, connected to another person, and willing to suffer for that other person if necessary.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, interesting. So you can actually measure oxytocin levels. If you see a psychopath, you say, you're oxytocin flat.
Okay, Bill.
So psychopaths walking around and say, what you should do is have like an oxytocin meter. And the people that have low oxytocin, if you can actually scan them, they say, don't be friends with this guy. He has no oxytocin.
Next is Dennis from New Jersey.
Funny, hey?
I want clarification. I want to make sure that the Nutrimeds don't have any interaction with my current medication, which is Benicar HL 30 milligrams.
Yeah, Benicar is an ACE receptor blocker and has no interaction adversely. Benicar is actually a safe, one of the few safe blood pressure pills. Also, the calcium channel blocker Calan is, but not Plendil. So there's certain ones like vasodilators, but Benicar is very safe.
But he says, once I take my morning Benicar, when I wake up, I take Zantac when I'm eating breakfast. Should I wait and take the Nutrimeds when I do my snack?
No.
Which is about 2 to 3 hours after my breakfast.
No, you can take it right away.
My other question is it safe to take multiple Nutrimeds at the same time? Yeah, I do that every day.
Yeah, take it at the same time. The other thing is the Zantac is an H2 blocker, and it reduces your stomach acid. That actually reduces digestion. So what you want to do is have cytoprotection. So you want to end up restoring stomach acid with digestees, take digestive enzymes, gastrozyme, and to heal the stomach wall, you want to take GastroHeal. So Zantacs, they should probably stop because it interferes with mineral absorption. So over time, you can get mineral deficiency like osteoporosis, osteopenia, men and women. You get maldigestion, and then you can get overgrowth of gut bacteria that can cause small bowel overgrowth, and that's bad.
He also said he wanted to double-check regarding Silver 100. How many sprays should I be doing under my tongue? I'm 242 pounds.
For prevention, 1 spray per 30 pounds body weight, and for acute infection, 1 per 10. 3 times a day under the tongue. Or 3 drops. 3 drops equals 1 spray. So it's 1 spray or 3 drops for 30 pounds body weight prevention, and for an acute infection per 10 pounds.
Okay, Steve from up in Oregon. I didn't want to forget you, but you're right in the front pages here. He says, hi, Dr. Bill. Hey, what's the Bill the Pill? Remember, he used to be in medical school.
In residency, that's one of my nicknames, Bill the Pill.
So I said, hey, Dr. Bill. Thanks for your broadcast. We carry it here on FM 97.3. That's great, Steve. He goes on to say, I look forward to hearing the discussion on stenosis this Friday in our number 1. A few years ago, the captain of my ship became a Nutrimedical customer after hearing your broadcasts that I provided for the crew. Well, thanks, Steve. So he says his mother is 83 and has suffered from back pain for many years, including 2 major surgeries with a metal implant near L3.
Right.
Her pain has increased recently from a condition her doctor calls stenosis. She doesn't want any more surgeries. What product or products might help clear this calcification from her joints? She's been on thyroid medicine and high blood pressure for many. Has high blood pressure for many decades. I wonder if all those pills cause this.
Okay, the first thing you want to do is get rid of interfascial adhesions. So Inflamax 2 to 3 capsules twice a day. Second, to reverse calcification, you want to use full vitamin K2 1 to 2 to 3 capsules twice a day. And then you want to restore the connective tissue, so you want to use Tendon Mender, Joint Performance, and Collagen Max with the Inflamax. Mountain Red Velvet, you want to open 1 capsule out of 3 under the tongue, at least once or twice a day. And for the lumbar spine, I'd recommend Lumen Photon, setting number 7 to turn off the inflammation, and for regeneration, Nico setting. And that's a good start. You can get also lumbar traction called a DXR 9000.
But keeping it simple, if you had to pick 2 or 3 things. I
would use the Inflamax, Tendon Mender, Joint Performance, and Collagen Max.
Okay.
Yeah, and then that should reduce a full vitamin K2, because that will reverse the calcification of the paraspinous ligaments in the dura mater. Most likely what's happening is she's got adhesions between the dura mater and the exit foramen.
I wondered if the thyroid medicine or the high blood pressure medicine caused any of this stenosis.
No.
Could it cause it? No.
No, but if your thyroid is not fully corrected, the way to tell is free T4, free T3, and free reverse T3.
When we come back, we'll hear from Charlotte from Palmdale, California.
A sudden change in the wind. The day grows dark as ominous clouds move in and lightning begins to carve arcs in the sky.
Welcome back to the Nutrimedical Report, and Michelle is the host with the most, and she's got your questions staring at them here before her from email form.
Charlotte, as we just said, from Palmdale here in California. Pray all is well with you, Dr. Teagle and Michelle, and I have a special friend in her early 80s who is experiencing mild pain in her head. She says that it even hurts when she combs her hair. She has a decline in appetite as well and is starting to take more naps during the day. I told her to go to her doctor to see what they say, but she does not want to.
The most common cause of scalp pain is a lesser or greater occipital neuritis in the head if it's in the scalp. If it's in the face, it's more likely trigeminal nerve problems or facial problems like periodontal disease. So my guess would be she probably has an occipital neuritis that her doctor can evaluate that. Often there's what's called enoaxial or other subluxations there. I usually recommend massage therapy. Make certain there's no TMJ problems. You might need a bite splint. And they can sometimes respond to topicals. I usually recommend to start off with muscle relaxants like our Spilkes, Spilkes, which is calcium magnesium taurate. Topically, curcumin cream. Anti-inflammatory Inflamex, because there's inflammation around the nerves as they exit, and a deep tissue massage to break up any adhesions there around the occipital nerve. Mm-hmm. And that will be the start. But, if I got more information, I'll be able to help her more specifically.
I'll pass
make sure
on the email to you.
Yeah, and then if we interact back and forth, I can tell her what tests are most appropriate.
Michael, in an email, greetings, Dr. Deagle. My mom is hospitalized again with fluid on her lungs, an inflamed airway, and possible infection in a calcified heart valve. She is again on a ventilator, just as she was in March when she had the pneumonia. She was on it 10.5 days then, and she's again receiving antibiotics and steroids. If you would like to suggest something, I would appreciate it. She's 89 years old. Oh, my goodness. Has a long history of edema. Her blood pressure was dangerously low Friday.
Yeah, the most likely thing is she's got right-sided heart failure, precipitated by hypertension, and most likely what she has is obstructive sleep apnea. She needs to get into the sleep lab and get a proper evaluation, and if she has hypopnea, which is low oxygen, into the 80s or 70s, especially if it's like many episodes, like over 100, she'll need to have CPAP, and she may need oxygen with the CPAP. That usually will correct it. Blood pressure medications I recommend with our natural medications like Supernox, Cardivite, Gamma E Plus to raise your natural peptide, CoQ10 Supreme to improve the strength and contraction of the heart to stop the right heart failure, and of course the natural diuretics, which is vein away, that'll protect your kidneys and help diurese.
You should mention too that when it's older people or even younger people and they don't like to take a lot of pills, just open the pills and make a smoothie.
Exactly.
And
in terms of drugs for right heart failure, ACE receptor blockers are safe, like losartan. Calcium channel blockers, if it's like Calan, and beta blockers, they use things like carvedilol. Those are all helpful, but I don't recommend Bistolic. It's extremely dangerous. Never take it. Bistolic, do not take it. It's a dangerous drug. And that should be able to reverse it. But she probably has obstructive apnea as the cause of her failure. And it'll also cause fluid in her lungs, which means she has a bit of pulmonary edema. And then she has a touch of bronchitic pneumonia. But most likely what she has there is obstructive apnea. So that's the sleep lab is the next step.
Next is Lisa from Georgia. I have severe nausea upon taking or eating olive oil, which has increased over the years. I've never heard of that. Therefore, I avoid olive oil and products and any foods which contain it and read the labels and product ingredient lists prior to purchasing items for my consumption. Will you tell me if either of the Alimax or Alimed products have olive oil?
No.
And
no, they don't.
No, they don't for sure. And do you have a vitamin D product free from olive oil?
Yes.
Yeah,
ours
MyCell D3.
Ours is lanolin based, yeah.
And then it's funny that, what is that? I've never heard of someone allergic to olive oil. Have you?
No. In fact, it's very unusual. It's very unusual to hear that kind of reaction, especially because olives are not allergenic usually. And there's essential oils are actually really good for you from olive oil because it's monounsaturated fatty acids. So.
Next is Karen in an email. My friend Dave B. suggested I write to you. I've heard some very good things about you, and I am hoping you might be able to help me with my situation. I have a seizure disorder which presents with partial simple seizures involving my left side and also rarely non-convulsive seizures in which I am in a dissociative state, and it's like I'm sleepwalking.
Right. What happens, there's three
They
groups.
present, she said, with a migraine-like headache, nausea, chills, and sometimes vomiting.
Yeah. Well, what's probably happening is a migrainous form of petit mal seizures, which are partial or complex seizures. And the first and simple thing is, number one, most people with seizures are, number one, they're acidotic, their body's acid. Mm-hmm. Number two, they're having vasospasm due to allergic reactions and or chemical sensitivity causing vasospasm. For example, they might be sensitive to different foods or wine.
Listen to this. I have a 4.5 cubic centimeter subcortical. What's that? What's that word?
Heterotopia.
In the left frontal lobe of my brain, associated.
Decreased weight, matter, volume, yeah.
And partially by this. She said that the seizures they suffered because of a domestic violence. Someone beat her. Bill. That's how she got like that.
Well, what happens when you damage brain, though, it's a matter of brain circulation. We can improve that, though. So a lot of people
suffered oxygen deprivation.
But a lot of people have brain anomalies, and they never get seizures, or if they have them, we can help. The first thing you want to do is raise body magnesium. Second, you want to detox the body, including chemicals. So the magnesium level, intracellular levels. There are tests you can do to measure intracellular levels. We can do a hair analysis for heavy metals because they can cause seizures. Things like lead, mercury, etc. If you have mercury amalgams.
Oh yeah.
You want to make sure you reduce oxidative stress. So we use things like CoQ10, acetyl-L-carnitine. Our Cognition Plus and Brain Power, vinpocetine, will help protect the brain from seizure activity. But getting magnesium into supernormal levels and a ketogenic alkaline diet is very, very important, which basically means you're going to alkalinize their body. You can do a multi-sticks 11 test strip to see if you're an alkaline and ketogenic state. And 85% of people, that alone will correct it. Yes.
I'm going to give this email to you because look how long it is. It's quite... Yeah. She's got a lot of things going on. And Karen, I'm going to pass this over to Dr. Deagle so he can respond to you directly as you
and you can measure organic acids to look at abnormal metabolites that are going on.
You know what
Actually, a lot of them are allergic to foods. Then foods can trigger off seizure activity if you have food allergy like IgG, antibodies, etc.
She says that she's also insulin dependent and type 2 diabetic.
Yeah, well then she could be having problems with spells of hypoglycemia-induced seizures too. So she could be hyperglycemic and then crash, and that can do it too.
Gee, everybody's in their 80s here today. Here's the next email. Greg from his iPhone. His 89-year-old dad has opted for a 6-month Lupron hormone shots over chemo and radiation treatments.
Well, first off, I don't like Lupron. Basically, is to block the male receptor. It basically is a form of chemical castration because it's receptor positive prostate cancer. I recommend our nutraceuticals, which is Maligna Block, which will block the malignancy, Maligna Arrest, which will actually change the hexose monophosphate shunt and starve the cancer cells, Ellagic acid, the NutriDefense. All right, NutriDefense, which is very important to boost the immune system, stop free radical oxidative stress. The enzymes, the Inflamex, to strip off the fibronectin capsule. Then I recommend the Brzezinski Clinic, where they measure anti-neoplastin levels, specific genes on the prostate gland with a transrectal ultrasound-directed biopsy, and they can find out which specific genes are switched on and off. And then you give specific drugs at low dosages by intravenous to actually correct it along with the anti-neoplastins, and you can turn the tumor off. So then basically cancer is a state where the mitochondria no longer speak to the eukaryotic genes of the cell, and so it's a hypoxic acidotic state where you lose mitochondrial function, aerobic function. And all cancers, including autoimmune disease, are anaerobic, hypoxic, metabolically acidotic states. Okay. And the first step of it, that's why we use our Maligna Block, Maligna Arrest, and then that combine it with the Brzezinski approach. You can also do vascular sparing radio ablation with a radio probe, and we'll get rid of it.
Well, that's the end of that segment.
And that's a big one, though. Prostate cancer is important, though.
That was long.
It's a big deal.
Well, TJ from Florida, Bill, his email is huge, too, here today. And basically, if you read the whole thing, it's a detox. When we come back, why don't you let everyone know what you recommend for a general detox?
General detox, yeah. I'll summarize.
Yeah, because I'm not going to read all that. That's like pages here. It'd be like you.
Yeah.
If you're going to take just one natural supplement, why not 7-in-1? That's Cardovite, a 7-in-1 tonic for life from Nutrimedical.com. Cardovite contains 7 synergistic herbs to promote maximum wellness for your heart and whole body. Take Cardovite.
A little right, a little left, but always independent-minded. The Genesis Communications Network, GCN.
And you're on, Michelle, the host, with the most questions.
Welcome back. Hey, Bill, TJ, you're going to say the detox.
Detox, okay. Firstly, heavy metals. Keelar Max, 2 to 4 capsules twice a day. Ultra Liquid Zeolite, the only non-acid wash zeolite available anywhere, and it's a better price than anybody else's. 13 drops in filtered water, pure water system water 3 times a day. Chemicals, NutriDefense, the most powerful antioxidant in the world. It'll grab the toxins, xenoestrogen detox, bio-LVR, and life support. Those are the core for detox. It'll pull all the chemicals out of your body. If you want to speed it up, use Proline Sauna, pulse magnetic field. Proline sauna
Which is
first.
so wonderful with the life support, because remember, the life support is a product that I was recommending. That if you can just take a drink, that's
it has all the phase 2 detox cofactors.
Chocolate or vanilla.
Yep.
Next is Beverly from Marietta, up the road here in California. I received my Lumen Photon 90 yesterday. Will this help to unblock 2 salivary glands that are on the same side of my mouth as a really bad toothache? I decided to go to the urgent care today after a really bad day of pain. I started with the, I guess I better not read all this. It's too much.
Yeah, you don't get all the details.
A lot of drugs. I guess basically.
Yeah, let me give the answer.
Well, do you want me to read this?
No.
Okay. It's long.
Firstly, your question is Lumen. Lumen Photon, yes, it will. But you're going to be patient. You want to do setting number 7 to reduce inflammation and then to regenerate the glandular tissue.
Okay, I found your question. My question is, what is the quickest way to remedy blocked salivary glands? And I started on the Bio-LVR that you recommended for my migraine headaches. Since I've been on it, I have not had a single headache.
Wonderful.
This is the only supplement that has helped prevent the migraines. I think that's important.
That's right.
People know that about the
Bio-LVR. It's the B12 in it and then the B6, etc. Firstly, reverse calcification.
Yeah.
Two things, full vitamin K2 and Inflamex. We reverse the calcification. By full vitamin K2, 1 to 2 capsules 3 times a day, Inflamex 3 capsules twice a day, and then apply setting number 7 first, and then Nico. Half-hour setting 7 and Nico to the area. If you want to, you can even put it through a gel pack or a cool pack on the face, but that'll reverse it, and it'll stimulate the circulation and reverse the calcification.
Oh, it's so sweet here. She says it's so nice to wake up without a killer headache. We're sitting on the sofa most of the day.
The other thing I would add to her headaches, by the way, is CoQ10. CoQ10 Supreme, bite it under the tongue, and if you're still having headaches despite this, because there are people, and I do it for my migraines, and it stops it like cold. The B12, Bio-LVR, and the CoQ10 Supreme are
Well,
bam.
She's doing it with the Bio-LVR, and you know what I always say, keep it simple.
Yep.
Next is Bill from Perth, Western Australia.
Wonderful.
Hi, my name is Steve, Perth, Western Australia. I'm a 60-year-old male who, 2 years ago, using an electric saw, cut off my little finger and made a mess of my thumb. 2 weeks later, I developed reflex sympathetic dystrophy syndrome in my hand, and 3 months later, I developed fibromyalgia in my whole body. As you can imagine, my life is full of pain. I currently take, these are all the meds he's on and everything.
Right, all kinds of stuff.
I guess...
It's a mitochondriopathy, basically. So we do mitochondrial support. We start off with, number 1, CoQ10 Supreme, bite into 1 every 2 to 4 hours. Number 2, you want to take ALC 1000 and D-ribose in a drink 3 times a day, half a teaspoon. Number 3, mitochondrial catalyst and mitocarotene, 1 3 times a day. Then you want to take Cognition Plus, 1 in the morning, 1 midday, and it was called Brain Power, which has been pulsatine. As you support the mitochondria, the fibromyalgia disappears. You got to raise total body magnesium, which is under that stress. You got to raise with magnesium taurate, 2 capsules at least twice a day to 3 twice a day, and magnesium glycinate malate, at least 2 to 3 capsules twice a day. That's the core. To restore the nerve fibers, we use things like Omega Supreme Krill, Omega Cod Liver Liquid with phospholipids, of course, and Nutrifos and Neurogen, which helps stimulate new remyelination of nerve fiber tracts. Because what you do is you start a process that creates free radicals as it damages the peripheral myelin sheath, and you end up with Schwann cell degeneration, and it's triggered off by the initial trauma to the hand.
Next is Tammy from Georgia. 2 years ago, I noticed when I would hold my cell phone to my left ear, I would begin to almost immediately have a headache over the temple area. I had to stop using the phone except on speaker. Good plan.
Yeah, smart, because your body's telling her it generates what's called ornithine transcarbamylase and peroxynitrate and hydroperoxy radical immediately, and within 20 seconds of a cell phone, your blood-brain barrier breaks down.
Well, within a couple of weeks, I couldn't see out of my left eye. I went to my optometrist thinking it was my contact lens, and he said it was a cataract.
Yeah, it'll really increase oxidative stress. Yeah.
If I can see eye drops.
Yes.
For that.
Yeah, Can See, Vision Max, Nutritrala, and of course I recommend Neurogen and Nutrifos for remyelination of the nerve tracts because they've been damaged by it. And the cataract, the oxidative stress, we use the anti-glycating agents Vein-Away and Carnosine. Those are the 2 anti-glycating agents. Vein-Away and Carnosine, as well as the Can See eye drops, and using Vision Max, which contains the lycopenes and the other things to reverse the damage to the eye.
Next is Wendy from the UK. She says, hello, I have a compliment. Thank you for your prayerful education. Me and intercessors in the UK have been praying for good American leaders since I first encountered the Luciferian agenda in 2009. I am personally grateful for truthful information about vaccines and etc. I took action to the best of my ability. I'm a Christian and I care about the gospel and the truth in many issues you raise. Gee, what's your question?
That's wonderful.
I know, and that's sweet. It's sweet to hear from you, Wendy, just as it is.
Yeah.
I know you are an American patriot. I want you to know we pray for one another, and includes international people. So it's nice to hear that
I follow the dictum
when we're
of...
children of God, there are no borders.
Right, exactly.
There's
I believe
no
in what
borders.
Jesus says. Though you do it to the least of my brothers and sisters, whether it's a little Iraqi child or a person in Iran or Russia, you do it to me, he said. So we are both an I and a we, and if we have that attitude of the connectedness that God wants us to have, there would be no war, no evil, no pestilence, nobody without insurance, and nobody that's destitute.
Next is Olivier from Quebec, Canada. And he says, I'm following your work, and lots of compliments here. We'll just get right to it. I have done a hair sample test, and here are the results. I'm lacking energy and need to sleep a lot. I'm sensitive to sunlight and a bit anxious. Do you have anything to help with that?
Yes, well, I'll look at the report of his analysis.
Yeah, why don't you look at his
Usually
analysis?
with hair analysis is going to show heavy metals. Heavy metals are going to cause sympathetic overdrive. You need to remove the heavy metals into free iron. You need to stop the oxidative stress, increase glutathione peroxidase, superoxide dismutase. That means selenium and magnesium are really important, especially. Zinc, copper ratio, very important. Those are important tests. And by the way, one of the best ways to actually evaluate these on an ongoing basis is a QRMA, and we have amazing results. People send me their QRMA, and I give them a full protocol, and it's always smack on. It's just amazing how helpful it is for people to get the exact right supplements for them from week to week, month to month. They can do a test literally daily and see how the progress is going. It's just amazing. And it's just holding electrode with the left hand, and it does the results, boom, and then they can just email it to me, and I can do an analysis. Okay,
this is, let's see, Roger, in an email. I listen to your show as often as I can. I thank you. Well, he's talking to me and your husband, and pray your lives are protected and blessed. Thank you, Roger. He said, he's talking about boils. I don't have time to read the whole thing, but at first he had a boil. It was diagnosed as a spider bite, and I went to the doctor, and then it was a form of MRSA.
Yeah.
Having
methicillin-resistant Staph aureus.
Yeah.
Yeah, and those, by the way, once you get a positive boil, then you've got it.
Yeah.
So what you have to assume, it's in your airways, it's in your nasal passages. Mm-hmm. So what we do is put person permanently on remission with Allicin Med, not just Alamax, Silver 100 and Nutridyne, and immunoglobulins, which includes Immunomax and NutriImmune. And the NutriDefense, which will boost it because it has things that block viruses, bacteria, etc. So NutriDefense as well as those, and we'll put them in remission. But MRSA, you have to assume that you are now a carrier, and you need to stay on that permanently.
Next is Steve he's from Texas, but he says where he is in Texas, so that's when people want us to say their town. So from Waco, Texas. Mm-hmm. And it's been a while since we last communicated. I wanted to ask about a personal health issue. It's for my friend. And he goes on, I don't know how much time I have to read all this, Bill. But
2 minutes.
Basically
Less than 2 minutes. 1 minute.
It's MSG. It's just monosodium glutamate. I guess
very
some
bad.
people have. Yeah.
It causes brain damage. It causes astroglial dropout. It causes free radicals in your brain. Never have MSG or MSG-like things. There's 26 different things that are labeled. They're MSG, like hydrolyzed protein isolate and all this other garbage.
Guess whose birthday it is tomorrow?
Yours.
Hey.
Happy birthday,
hello.
Michelle.
Happy
the love of my life, the beauty of the home.
To me. Anyways, everybody,
I got to sing happy birthday.
Have a wonderful day tomorrow.
Happy birthday to Michelle.
You guys have a great day.
Happy birthday to my love.
You're too late. You
happy
forgot.
Happy birthday.
You're too late.
Happy
you forgot.
birthday. Happy birthday
God
to you.
God bless you, and have a great weekend. And you forgot.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
We just have to wait till the last second so you get your
See you next
in.
week.
Back in a moment with hour number 2. You don't want to miss it. And we're having open line.
Henry Ford once said, a man who stops advertising to save money is like a man who stops a clock to save time. Alex Castle here, the National Account Executive at
TV, 1-855-905-MY-TV.